Hello people, this is going to be a product installation or a quick mod video. From the past 2 months I've been planning to upgrade this part of my bike, the air filter. I actually wanted to go for the performance air filter from BMC or K&N, but K&N does not have an air filter designed for the RTR. In BMC there is an air filter available for RTR BS4 variants, 160 and 200. BS6 air filters are slightly bigger than the BS4 filters, hence that's not compatible. I even checked with the BMC team, they confirmed it's not yet developed. So basically I was out of options, and as I kept on researching I got to know about this brand, Schorl. I think they've been in the market for the last 5 to 6 years. They make air filters for all bikes including RTR BS6. Not only bikes, I think even they make air filters for cars and trucks. I watched a few videos on YouTube to check out the reviews, and I got to know some of the Himalayan owners are already using it from past 2-3 years. And I even checked with a few contacts on Instagram. They use it on their Dominar, RTR 200 and Himalayan. I got a good feedback from them. And I also watched one factory visit video. Not exactly a factory, it's a small godown. So the person who manages this brand explains the way of making, the materials they use, and different standards, safety standards, build quality standards, and etc. So I was convinced to go for the purchase, and before making the purchase I just wanted to talk to the team. I contacted them, and first thing they told me upfront was you can't expect it to be like a performance air filter like BMC or K&N, because they are purely for performance, whereas this air filter is designed for mileage, safety, and a bit of performance. So they confirmed you can expect a slight bump in the mileage. I hardly care because I'm already getting 45 on an average and I'm happy with it. They also confirmed there will be more air fuel mixture, more dust filtration, and a slight increase in throttle response. It's all explained here, mentioned here. Less pressure drop, 30% mileage, and yeah, this will last up to 1 lakh kilometers, whereas the stock filters can only last up to 10,000 or 8,000 kilometers. Those are not washable as well. This can be washed every 6 months or 10,000 kilometers. So yeah, less pressure drop is good for the engine. It will be easier for the piston to suck in the air. So again, I was convinced that this can perform better than the stock air filter and is safe to use as well. Anyway, I will be going to experience this in real, so I can explain more about this later. Let's get on to the installation first. By the way, this has been unboxed. I just wanted to check if there's any defect. So this is how it looks. This is not plastic, it's a rubberized material. It's flexible, but I don't want to bend it now. Not a fan of this color, but if it does the job, well and good. So yeah, we'll install this on the bike and check out how it performs. So after changing the filter, it's recommended to keep the bike on idling for 5 to 7 minutes. If it's a carburetor vehicle, around 5 to 10 minutes, you'll know. I mean, keep it on idling, and if the RPM is variating, then you'll have to manually adjust it. In FI vehicles, nothing to do, just keep it on idling. If the idle RPM is variating, the ECU or O2 sensor will automatically adjust based on the new airflow from the filter. By the way, this is shot the next day. I changed the filter yesterday and rode around 20-25 kilometers. After changing the filter, honestly I did not feel any major difference in the performance. In the low end and mid end, it's more or less the same, no difference. Somewhere in the top end, between 90 to 100 speeds, I feel there's a slight improvement in the refinement. Very, very tiny difference. It's not like a difference that you'll get to know as soon as you ride in that speed, but I feel a small difference. Maybe I'll get to observe a lot many things as I cover more kilometers, but initially this is what I felt. And I'm using aftermarket products, as in a higher grade engine oil, 10W40 and iridium spark plug, now aftermarket air filter. So maybe the combination is working out, I don't know, but anyways, it's a good change. It's good for the highway cruising, top speed cruising, so that's one thing. And during cold starts, now I feel the sound is more precise or clear. Usually during cold starts the engine sound is very clear, but again, that's also a tiny difference. I feel the sound is more clean. I'm actually not expecting any changes in the performance. The reason I changed the air filter is to reduce the stress in the engine and make it easier for the engine to breathe. That's it. Everything else is a bonus for me. Basically, the difference between stock filter versus the aftermarket or free flow filter is the air passage. In a paper filter, the air passage will be less, which is a basic understanding. In aftermarket filters, the material is, I'm not sure what kind of materials they use, but yeah, they include some breathable layers, cotton kind of materials and all. So the airflow is more through aftermarket filters. If there's more airflow, the chances of dust going in is also higher. That's where the technology comes into picture. So the brands will ensure that the dust is also getting filtered more than the stock filter. All these brands claim that these filters can stop dust or filter dust more than the stock. Practically we can't test it, but that's what they claim, and people have a good feedback about upgrading the air filters. And I had this doubt, why do manufacturers provide paper filters from factory? I got to know even manufacturers will have budget limits, cost cutting strategies and turnaround times. Wherever possible they'll try to cut down the cost, that one I know. But all brands or manufacturers will ensure one thing, they'll ensure their products or any parts within the product will reach up to a certain level, certain standard level, where it's safe to use and works absolutely fine without any issues. For a normal person who uses the bike within cities for office commutes, college purpose, or even occasional weekend rides, stock filters are more than enough. So the solution for those filters are changing every 8,000 or 10,000 kilometers, as it's not washable. But if you tend to use the bike more than a normal person, certain things on your bike will have limitations. That's the reason aftermarket products are built, to make it easier for the bike and for the rider. Just by upgrading few things on the bike doesn't solve the problem. You have to maintain it, use the way it's meant to be used. These are my initial impressions. I'm not a technical expert. I don't know how it may work in the future. Based on the knowledge from internet and other sources, I'm passing it on to you. But if someone knows it very well, please feel free to correct me or put it down in the comments. As far as I've researched and got to know from the owners who already use it, I think it will work well. Not recommending it right now to anyone, as I keep riding and covering more kilometers. You can expect some feedback on the performance, pros and cons. Only two changes I've noticed so far after changing the filter. First one, a slight change in the sound during cold starts. It's more precise. Second change is a slightly improved refinement in top end, in between 90 to 100. I'm not saying you can expect the same thing. It depends on the riding style, it depends on the vehicle condition. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next one.